3 times World Handball Player of the Year, played professional handball in 3 different decades, and still rolling at the age of 40. Is he the greatest to ever touch the ball?
What made him the greatest was the way he worked his ass off during his whole career. As I said, he knew how to celebrate, because...
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Into the net.
She does it again. Yes.
And Magdeburg are the champions of Europe. Put something here. She has a game. This is across the keeper. What a comeback!
And it is time to talk handball again, everyone. And that's it. The Olympics are finished, and Nikola Karabatic is retired. That's the end of an era. And who better would we want to have a look at with other than his former teammate, his former captain, and his very close friend, Víctor Tomàs? How are you?
I'm good. Thinking about the career of Nico, I can think about a lot of moments that I played against him and with him, and I'm just emotional because I really like the guy and I love the player.
Absolutely. And who else could we ask about him as a player other than our handball dictionary? Martin Vilstrup, how are you?
Yeah, it is. We said it earlier. It's an era also for, in some way, because the first guest we had on the spin with the podcast, it was Nikola. So it's only fair for us to also, in some way, summon up. It's difficult, but summon up the career for Nikola Karabatic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's good that we're recording here in Budapest, so we don't know about what happened at the Olympics yet. You guys out there do know already. But since we are just recording on the 2nd of June, the 31st of May isn't too long ago, and that's when his last match in the jersey of PSG was. And I know someone who attended it. So how was the last game of the hero, Nikola Karabatic?
It was huge because actually Paris, they didn't play at the arena where they normally play. They play at Bercy Arena. I think it's called Accor Hotels Arena right now. Attendance of almost 15,000, which was a record for the French league. And you could feel in the atmosphere that everybody wanted Nico to did great. And I think he's going to make jokes out of himself a lot, but the last shot of Nico was a clear red card, which he didn't get because of out of respect of the referees for him, because he was shooting a penalty in the last minute of the game. And on his speech, he said that he finished his career with this shitty shoot. But actually, it was emotional because it was a video shown of a lot of people that it was important in his life. His family was with him in the playing court, and he was also remembering his father, who passed away a long time ago. And his father, for him, was a crucial figure and somebody who always it's in his mind and the mind of his brother Luca, and he got emotional when he said thank you to the sky. And I think it was a quite beautiful night for everyone.
Yeah, most definitely. And there were a lot of stars in the arena as well, because 31st of May still means the French Open are still going. Novak Djokovic was there, I think, and some other... sorry, say again?
Jo-Wilfried Tsonga was there.
Yeah, so many people to, well, say farewell to one of the biggest names that handball has ever seen. Maybe even the greatest question marks, because 3 times Olympic winner, 4 times world champion, 4 times European champion, 3 times World Handball Player of the Year, played professional handball in 3 different decades, and still rolling at the age of 40. Is he the greatest to ever touch the ball?
Yes. Simple as that. It is simple. You kind of just said it with all the titles he won, and also like Champions League, and also for the club he played for and played in in different countries where he could adapt the playing style and also be a monster in offense and defense, and not only that, being a character. But I think Víctor knows him personally. I don't. But for me, what also stands out is that Nikola seems like a person that everyone, like, and he's very likable, and he has everyone's respect. And that's not that often you can say that about some who's the greatest ever in the sport of. Yeah, you can start thinking about other sports where somebody is the greatest. It's not always they have everyone's respect, but in this case they have with Nikola, and that says a lot also about him as a person and also as a character. So for me, he is the GOAT.
I probably don't need to ask you about an objective opinion, right?
No, because people might like more or less his playing style. But if we ask, I don't know, 100 persons, maybe 90, they are going to, agree on that Nico is the best.
Yeah.
So to find these kind of numbers when you ask people about who is the greatest one, it's very difficult. And for me, what made him the greatest was the way he worked his ass off during his whole career. I was with him training, and he is the leader that everybody wants to have on his team, because he is making an example of everything. And what makes him so special, and in my opinion the best, that he was the best in both sides of the playing court. And he is the total player. So
Yeah. The thing is that can you take if you have to form your perfect player and take the offensive ability from someone, the physical, the defense, then you could just start taking it from Nikola. And what you just said with 3 decades, it's unbelievable. But the thing is, he's not just been playing 3 decades; he's been dominating, for his entire career. That's insane.
Yeah, that's total insanity.
he played with Jackson Richardson in the French national team, and now he is playing with Melvin, and Melvin is getting older. He's still there, So
would have been great if he even survived Melvin Richardson. But yeah, well, time gets the best of us eventually, and I mean, he did find a good time and place to retire, to get that grand finale in Paris with the Olympics, to have been playing the Euro in January and winning the Euro as one of the key factors for France there as well. We shall not forget about that. He had a huge impact on that French national team. But yeah, you shared the stage with him in your time in Barcelona, and you said you liked the person, but you loved the player that he was. What kind of player was he?
He was a player that he was never scared to have the ball on his hands in the crucial moments of the game. You always knew you could rely on him, because he was the best, and a player that he was never wrong in terms of tactically speaking. When the center back or the coach is saying we're going to do this, he was never wrong. He was always, as I said, making an example of everything. He was very focused on the video sessions. He was the guy who was lifting more weights in the gym. He was the guy that everybody was following in the running sessions. So he was just a special. He was special, and as I said, as a player, he was one of the few players that could be 60 minutes defending in number 3 or number 2, number 4, 5, and playing as a back player for 60 minutes and going really hard all the time.
What I always loved is that I probably said it earlier, that at some point people were saying, like, he's always going to his right. Yeah, but okay, then try to stop him like he's a monster physically. And it's like, probably that he's going in that way, but one thing is knowing it and then being capable of stopping somebody who's probably stronger than you and just smarter and better. It's not that easy, just to do it.
He is, and he was so strong on his legs that he was able to go to the strong side at his right, to put his body very low, so use his body weight to overcome the defender, and then with his power of legs, then he was able to go back and jump after he overcome the defender. He said he was a monster in both sides of the playing court, and I think that's a pretty good word to define him in a good way of the monster. You know, he was physically something that I have never seen.
Yeah, and especially when we're looking at how long he has been rolling. It's been the early 2000s when he first stepped on the court. And now we have 2024, and he's still dominating. But the game changed. The game did change throughout the last 24 years. But still, he always was there. He always is there. How did he manage to adapt to the modern ways of handball?
Well, I always say that now to be a player that wants to play in the elite of handball, you need to be an athlete. And he was an athlete all the time, so for him it was not difficult to adapt to the new times. I think that if you watch a game from 2002 and you watch a game now, it's very different, but in the last 10 years it didn't change that much. So it was a very fast handball already in 2014, 15. And he has been playing at this level and at this rhythm for so long in a very key positions in handball that it's just amazing.
And let's not forget what Víctor just said. He's also smart, so he will find a way also to figure out how can he benefit from his strengths. And on the other side is also the other mentality is that how can the other guys stop Nikola? Even though that the game develops, they need to figure out how to stop him. You know, put it in a hard way. But yeah, he's adaptable, and Víctor said it, an athlete. You know, and it's not like you can point out one thing that Nikola couldn't. It's not like, oh, he cannot jump. Like, he could also jump. Yeah. And so that's the thing.
It's the natural force, Nikola Karabatic. One could put it like that. But yeah, then you guys parted ways. When was it? Was it?
He left the team in summer 2015.
Yeah, that's what I thought. After the Champions League title, but you held contact all along.
Yeah, we held contact, and our respective wives are good friends as well. So we spent not in the last 2 summers because of family organization, but we also like to be together with the Saric and Nodesbo family, the 4 families together for some days in summer, and we spent some days in summer together. Yeah, and that's very nice, I think.
We found out in another episode that summer 2015 was a wild one for Barca as well, because that was quite party focused, because there were a lot of trophies.
Yeah.
How much of a party monster was Nikola Karabatic there as well?
He, as I said, he knew how to celebrate, you know, because he knew how important was to these kind of celebrations for the atmosphere of the team. And he was a guy that when you were not paying attention, he came back to you and he slapped at your butt as strong as possible, and that was hard. That was really hard. So you had to had him in your vision range all the time, because otherwise, you know, you're going to be slapped.
You still have some marks on your bum, or
probably. But yeah, he was just having fun with the guys and celebrating, because you never know when you're going to be able to celebrate again.
That is true. Martin, what would you say? When was his prime?
That's a tough one, I think, because when was his prime? And with the titles you just said, I think for Nikola it could maybe be a little bit different, but I just remember, you know, for me what comes up is that obviously he played for Kiel, Barca, and also PSG, but with the national team, I just remember the team that they had, and it's like what they call the Les Experts or something like that, where they won everything. You know, they won the European Championship, the World Championship, and the Olympics. And I don't know if Nikola's prime was there, but I think around the years they won in 2012, if I remember correctly, also the Olympics. And by then, but I don't know if that was the prime. So it's hard to say when was the prime for the GOAT. You know, it's also in other sports to pick out. Maybe Víctor knows
Is
it better.
Is it possible to say 20 years prime?
It is.
Yes, yeah, because I could say a
Because
number.
the first
and then
Champions League he won, it was with Montpellier against Portland San Antonio, losing in Pamplona for, I don't know, maybe it was 11 goals. And then in the final in Montpellier, he was a beast, and he was 19, I think. And then he went to Kiel. He showed everybody how good he was in a strong physical league like the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
He won everything there. Then he went back to Montpellier. Then he went to Barcelona. In Barcelona, he was just crazy, the Champions League that we won. And then he went to Paris, still being on his prime, I think. So from that second game of the Champions League in Montpellier until maybe the Champions League final they lost against Vardar, to say something. But after that, with French national team and with Paris, he won a lot of titles. So we could say that he has been on his prime for 20 years.
Yeah, maybe even
that white Kiel jersey is in my mind, especially, and also the Barcelona is. Those are the one that stands out. But to put in one number is difficult, as Víctor said, because we're saying a prime time, but he still won with the national team and PSG and titles, and saying, oh, that's not your prime, but you're winning all the titles.
yeah. His whole career was his prime, and we can be very, very grateful to have witnessed it and to have shared the stage with him, because it's one of a kind, not just a generational talent. It's an all-time talent. Whenever somebody says Nikola Karabatic was good, they don't do him justice. He was all-time great, and that is something that is never to be said about too many players, and he deserves it all along.
Yeah, he does. He does. I think we said everything that we could say about him already, and now we are here in Budapest. We don't know what's going to happen, but I wish him good luck for what's coming, and he deserves the best.
And even after his career, he will deserve the best, but we're pretty sure that he will get that, and that's where we would say thank you, Nico. Thank you for everything you have done for the sport, and thanks. You want to say something too?
No, I just I said it earlier. He did it along with all this being the best. I think it's admirable that he did it while still being respected by everyone else. You know, I think that's also something to have in mind, that the GOAT left the building, if you can say it like that, but with the respect of everyone else, and people want to sympathize with him and hoping the best for the Olympics for him. So yeah.
But we're just publishing after the Olympics, so GG's for what you have done at the Olympics.
Yeah, but we don't know by now. But but people want him to win just because it's Nikola.
Yeah,
and that says a lot.
Yeah, it does. So that's where we would say thanks for everything that you have done for the sport, and thanks for you guys out there for tuning in. And we will hear each other again the next time when it's time to talk handball again.
Ball across the Dylan. He double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Into the net.
She does it again. Yes.
Van Dijvenberg are the champions of Europe. Something